I eat, but I don't feel. I touch, but it ain't real. They say I move too fast, going man to man, always holding a new hand. Why can't they understand? Sex is irrelevant, just a game in my head I'm playing, and I'm winning. I broke another heart today. And I didn't care, I just walked away. 'Cause they think I love them, but I love them all, yeah. I need another one to get over the other one, yeah. 'Cause they think I wait for my power. They want me to fall. Oh, these men, they for me like the rest. I'm continuing on giving my best. They understand. Sex is irrelevant. Just a game in my head I'm playing, and I'm winning. I broke another heart today. And I didn't care, I just walked away. 'Cause they think I love them, but I love them all, yeah. I need another one to get over the other one, yeah. 'Cause they think I love them, but I love them all, yeah. I need another one to get over the other one, yeah. Maybe one day I'll settle down, but now I'll just play around. I think I'm feeling like how I did on make my feel special, and then I forget it. So I won't hurt. I keep it lighted up, and I let him up. 'Cause I love them all, yeah. I need another one. I want to get over the other one. Yeah. 'Cause they think I love them, but I love them all, yeah. I need another one to get over the other one, yeah. What's going on, Consciouztv? It is your favorite breakdown commentator, CTV. Welcome to a late night, girl. I am tired as hell, bitch. Okay, it is 1:15 in the morning. Oh, I ain't even turn off the damn music, girl. Okay, if you're in the building, give me nasty piece of thumbs up, girl, because this helps with YouTube's algorithm. If you're new here, definitely subscribe, because if I like it, you're gonna love it. Make sure that you also have your notification bell set to all, because you never know what day or hour the king shall be kinging, girl. Okay? And definitely make sure that you share, motherfucking share the stream out, girl. With no further ado, let's go ahead and get into the minutia.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, everybody? So, y'all wanted a Storm Monroe after show, girl. Y'all was all up in Storm's chat, girl. They're like, CTV, go live, go live, go live, go live. So, I'm going live, okay? For those of you who don't know, I was invited over to my friend's platform, Storm Monroe, and shout out to Storm for inviting me over. You guys know that it's Pride Month, girl, celebrating all things LGBT, allyship, freedom fighters, girl, all those who were integral, okay, to the movement and making shit pop, lock, and damn drop, okay, and just celebrating autonomy and self-truth and liberty and freedom, girl, okay. Now, Storm wanted to get into a discussion around if the dominant class just simply hates LGBT people, okay? Because Storm low-key feels that the dominant society just ain't really fucking with queer people like that. So, I already knew, girl, going. First of all, I had made some choices before I went into this discussion. I made some choices about just me, okay? I was not going to be pressed. I was not going to be bothered, okay? And I was just going to sit there and look like a bad bitch when I knew that there wasn't no point, okay? And that's what I did, okay? Now, I don't know, okay? I don't know what I don't have expectations anymore. I don't know what I don't even know what I think anymore about just, there's a lot going on these days, okay? You got the war of the sexist child. You got black men against black women. You got a lot of homophobia and transphobia that's still deep in the underbelly of the black experience, girl. It's just a lot. And I don't know whether I'm desensitized to it at this point, or rather I pity my people. And when I say my people, like my black folk. I think as I understand more about the way that pale supremacy has impacted the way that we see the world, the way that we show up in our own bodies, the way that we relate to each other's bodies, that pale supremacy has morphed our intellect and our understanding of self and the world in such a way that I just expect that shit to be there. And maybe, I don't even think I expect it to be there. When it comes up, I'm able to empathize. Okay? And I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say other than to just let people be pale supremacists, girl. Like, what am I going to say? It's like, I'm definitely not going to beat people in the head. Definitely going to let, the dominant class just, however folk feel, they just feel like a lot of the people who came up who had something to say, nobody wanted to be categorized as a homophobe. Nobody wanted to be categorized as a transphobe. Everybody proclaimed to be loving supporters of the LGBT community, but every last single one of them, aside from Yvette and E, okay, who are supporters of the platform, aside from them, everybody else had a but, 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 and I just, I, I'm at that point now where I let people kind of like, I let them talk, okay, and like I let them, like, I'm like, you hear you in the replay, okay, just. And I just said this on a platform about this particular subject of sexuality and gender. A lot of people who proclaim to be allies and I love everybody and I love everyone and blah, 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 blah. If you just let people talk long enough, if you ask them the right questions, you always get to it. But it doesn't bother me anymore because see, I'm on my Monique shit now. Like 37, I'm grown. I'm happy. At this point, for me, I'm here. Okay? And I'm here to troll the goddamn trolls, baby. Okay, because I don't have a fuck to give. Like, I don't need people's approval. So I can sit there and look pretty and let people hold whatever ideas they want to hold. Really, these topics are really just for everyone else. These discussions are for everyone else. Like I'm beyond. Um, I'm not emotionally invested, child. Like all that, it's just like. So, girl, I talked enough tonight. I'm gonna drop the link, and y'all wanted it to be after show. I don't know what y'all want. I mean, I don't know what y'all are expect. I don't know what y'all wanna. What I dropped the link, mods. Girl, I'm not arguing with y'all. If y'all don't, if it's okay for women to be bisexual and to eat pussy all through high school and college, but you don't want your man ever have sucked the dick or to ever have had a same gender level experience, what you want me to say? If you don't want that, you don't want that. I mean, okay, like okay. Continue on making bisexual men feel away while completely normalizing bisexual women. If that makes sense, to you, baby, forge ahead, baby. Get it how you live, baby. Okay? If it's okay to put black men in a box when it comes to their gender identity and their orientation, while Eve can rough ride and Debrat can gender bend and Aaliyah can be androgynous, honey, but a straight black man could never get away with gender bending aside from Prince, girl, without being labeled as gay. Because that's just not the way straight men show up, but straight women can show up in all this versatility. If look, 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 look.
I don't even know. I just need to get some stress off.
Okay, have at it, child. Sounds off.
I'm laughing because it's like I find myself over here with you guys because it's like it's protection amongst you. You know what I mean? Amongst y'all. And I just love that y'all embrace us no matter what, even though we have those tough conversations and stuff like that. Like you don't judge us and things like that. Um, I don't know. I think I'm gonna boycott the other side. I can't do
What?
it.
No, no, boy.
They had me.
No,
They
boy.
had me over
God.
there today. Oh my God, Conscious, you need to watch my video from today. It'd be too
I
much.
will.
You don't even. You just be trying to just work and be but to yourself, and next thing you know, you're naming stuff where you ain't been in years, and all kind of. I can't do
I good
it.
try. I understand. I get it. How do
Like
how do
this.
how do you feel about the subject? Like, do you feel like I don't know? Like, how do you feel about the subject?
Well, to be honest, to each his own. I feel like a lot of times we try to say what's not happening when we don't know for a fact what is happening. You can't say what anyone would do if you're not looking. You feel me? But also, you got common sense, and behaviors don't lie. But a lot of times, people block out those things because they don't want to believe that they could possibly have, had a situation with someone that was doing those things. But life is life, and that's why you have to be in tune with your own self in order to accept whatever it is that you may come
Mhm.
in contact with. And a lot of people are not, and that's why a lot of people tend to, lash out on other people for wrong reasons instead of digging into their own self and figure out what is going on. Like, don't point over here. What do you need to do for you? What's going on with you? And I think that just plays a big role as to, people being, in denial of certain things.
Why do you think that there's a double standard between women, black women, and black men when it comes to gender expression and sexuality? Like, why do you think that black women are able to get away with a lot more in those areas than black men are?
I think because for the women, it's like they can still, portray to be this feminine person versus with the men. Like, say like, all right, say like with you, everybody say conscious here. Nobody on YouTube, no bitch can fuck with conscious when it comes to the head game. You feel me? And so
Thank
it's a
you.
lot of jealous thing that,
Really, you think so?
maybe that you guys wear things better than a lot of women wear them. Maybe certain things fit you better than some women, even though that it fit them for their own self. They like it, but they know everything ain't for everybody. For real. And it's like, look at this. Whatever.
You see that?
I
You
wish I could wear that. Come on. I'm a woman, conscious. They do be jealous.
But that can't be what it. That can't. You
Mhm.
think that that's what's at the bottom? But this been going for a long time, y'all.
But that's the end
Double
result.
standard.
A lot of
It's
people.
not the only factor, but it sometimes is
It's
a
a part of
factor.
the. Hold on.
It,
So then, okay. So let me ask y'all this. So are y'all saying that because I hear women label women's community as like I know women who don't even fuck with women because of how rampant jealousy is amongst
Mhm.
women's community. So are y'all saying that there is a jealousy issue and an insecurity issue within the woman's
I,
experience
I
and
I have
community?
more male than women friends because I do get that a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that friend that's going to tell you it's okay to be a slut. And it's not. Not. Especially when you got kids.
Mm-mm.
You just can't be all over doing everything.
Mm-mm.
Then being an older woman and being married early in life, I didn't get to do a lot of these things that the girls are doing now. So to me, it looked funny to me because I
Well, it's
didn't
time for
do
you to get
those.
your groove back now, Stella.
No, I'm scared now.
It's time to go through that. It's time to go through that whole phase finally now.
I watched my mother go through that shit. And now that
It's
I'm around
real.
her age when my dad passed, I get
Hmm.
Oh,
it.
God,
But
get
it was
it.
like a culture shock. Like I was like, girl, like I where are you going with this? One this unitard and this damn chain belt.
I can't.
Um,
it is hard to try to bounce back. 'Cause my oldest children from the marriage, they like 30 down to 26. It's four of them. And then my baby, she's 16. So now I have to be stay the course for this teenager. Don't be all over the place and picking up wrong things from me. So
Mm,
I guess I won't get to see it until she go to college.
wow.
But I mean, it's okay. I lived my life. You know, when she was in the stroller and didn't know nothing was going on, I was doing me. But when
Yeah.
she started peeking through those covers, things had to change. Nah, you
Hot
know,
girl summer, like Will says, honey.
yeah, yeah, and it's okay.
I had a hot girl summer once, and it almost took my life.
Really,
Yeah, it was
Consciouztv.
it was a little too hot of a damn girl summer for me. So I would stay away from hot girl summer. Okay,
It's
a little
real.
bit too lit. Okay, to be a hot girl summer, but um, Lady T, so you were kind of co-signing to what a Refuse to Lose was saying about the jealousy thing. What do you think the other variables are when it comes to this double standard? Because Storm had asked a question about like, would like he was asking, I guess, to the women, like, would you have an issue with your man having had sucked a dick in his life or had a same sex or same gender loving experience? And I already knew what the answer was going to be because we have those conversations over here. And
Hmm.
there's a lot of women who just, for some reason, cannot get past the bisexuality of a man, even if they themselves have been bisexual and have had same gender loving experiences, but have a total mental block up when it comes to a black man who they may be romantically or sexually tied to, having had that experience or having that inside of him. So what do you think about that, Lady T?
um, for me, I think I've shared this with you before. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you made a mental note of it, but like it, um, sexuality it wasn't ever really like one sided for me because my friends were gay, and I kind of like really literally like for those who confided in me earlier on, they also told me what was going on as far as their coming of age stories. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it wasn't like and plus I knew what me and other females were doing at the same age, and I'm like, there's no way in the world it's not going to be balanced. Like, we have these little moments, and they're not wrestling and having theirs. I was always aware of the fact that there was a time period in life where young men experimented, and then it's like I've seen way too much for me to think that it wouldn't come down my door, and I wouldn't care, because what I'm kind of over is the fact that I try to have these open conversations with men, and they're just going to deny. No one's ever confessed or
Right.
admitted the fact that they've been with men, even though I've suspected, you know
Mm-hmm.
or rather, I assume rather that I have been with a man that's been with a man before, just because I've just seen I've just seen way too. I've seen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they just not gonna come clean for their own personal reasons. You know, they will get upset if you even mention that you feel that way. You know, I had a friend and a fiance had went away to prison for some time, right? And he came home and she said they was doing it. Well, he dead, so I can speak on it. So they was doing it, and she said that he had asked her to put her finger in his butt.
Oh, freaky
But she
shit.
said that they had never done that before he went to prison. So I had to tell her, listen, yo, what the fuck you thinking? You know what I mean? This ain't nothing he wanted to try overnight. Y'all been together 15 years. Y'all have never done that. But he had to get through. You know what I'm saying? So she was like that. But yeah,
You think
but
she ended up
She didn't want to believe what I was telling her. Absolutely not.
So she didn't. So she didn't end up doing it.
She did it, but she never questioned it.
Oh, she never questioned like his orientation.
Yeah, like to say, Rich, why would you? I mean, I would have had to ask him. How did you discover? I mean, we was together 20 years. We never thought about this.
A lot of things.
At the same time, he could have got offended. So maybe she just shouldn't have said nothing. And just, if you love them, then give them what they want.
But that's a long time to be together. A lot of things change 20 years in. Like a lot of couples start experimenting and swinging and opening up the bedroom, doing all. I mean, like that's it gets pretty regular after that.
He had went away, and that was the question. He had went to prison for about 3 years. And then when he came home, he wanted to try that.
Okay, so let me ask you this question then. So hold on, were they together while he was locked up?
Yeah, but it wasn't marriage, so of course there was no sex. They couldn't have like visits because they wasn't a married couple.
So had he admitted to her that, because it's a lot of men who get their prostate massage, whether it's through fingering, whether it's through them wanting their ass ate. I mean, I have my fair share of homeboys who get it popping up like in the bed. They be on a porn star shit in the bedroom, so they get into some teens, and the women that they are with are into some teens. But they don't identify as queer, and they're not same gender loving attracted, but they're definitely like very open minded in terms of what they do with women in the bedroom. So do you feel like sexual acts have a sexual orientation in and of themselves? Like if a man want to have anal sex with a woman, is that considered gay sex because he want to have anal sex with a woman?
I don't think so, because sometimes the women receive it better than they do in the other part. It depends, especially even though they say we snap back. The truth of the matter is there's no way you can have 99 kids and your thing still be the same. It just ain't happening. So for some women, they are okay with that, and they don't consider it that. I wouldn't consider it that. I consider it like pleasing my mate,
Got it. Okay. I want to welcome Miss Yoli to the panel. Are you there, love? Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello. You are live and in color. Welcome to the panel. Hi.
Much.
Hey, boo.
This is a deep conversation. But it's crazy because it's a conversation that I always have with my husband at least once a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, on his end, it turns sometimes into an argument, but I have learned to just let him say his piece and then walk away, and then try to slowly graduate him to see what's happening in the world now, without him getting so angry. But my husband will say that he is homophobic. He do not lie about that. But what I try to tell him is to be homophobic is to be judgmental. And you can't claim to love God and love yourself and other people if you're judging other people. It's impossible to do two things at the same time. Although they said you can pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time, that don't have anything to do with it. It's just impossible to judge someone and love them at the same time when you're judging them with so much hurt that turns into anger.
Right.
You don't understand what's going on, or you don't want to fathom or open your mind to understand.
So did you ask him, so where does his homophobia come from? Is it religion, or is it just wasn't something that he grew up around, or this is the way he was taught about?
Like it seemed like to me, he said he didn't grow around it, so he didn't. Which I'm telling him, you probably did. You just didn't see it with your eyes. but also it comes from his family background.
Mhm.
So it's more of you're
And
not.
what is that?
It's like
A
if your
Christian?
family background, you're supposed to be a man's man, and I'm like, what the hell is a man's man? And he was like, we do manly things, take out the garbage, we make sure we take care of the family. I said, but you can also have a sexual partner of the same sex and still be a man's man.
I
See,
do all those things.
I'm,
then
I'm, I'm just saying, I done seen it too
Yeah.
many times.
I
Where
do all those things.
right, it's like, so if that makes you a man's man, then someone gave you the wrong book.
see, but then they think that they shouldn't cry, that they shouldn't feel.
And
They have to put
here's
on
the
this
thing,
big rock.
sorry,
Then all of a sudden they bust open and everybody in the house fucked up.
right. And to me, that's wrong because if you
It
can't
is.
cry out what you're going through, it turns you into murderers and killers because you
Mhm.
cannot express your feelings. You have to keep hiding them and submitting them and pushing them down. So when
Mhm.
they get out of control and you can't control them anymore, you lash out physically and
Mhm.
verbally at the same time. And it can hurt a lot of people that shouldn't even be hurt because you're hurt from stuff that you keep balling up and balling up. That's why I have 5 sons. And I tell all my sons, don't ever be afraid to cry. I don't care if your homeboys is in your face and they
Yeah.
call you whatever name in the book. And that's just the name. It's not the definition of who you are.
Hmm.
You
But
only
do
show.
y'all think that sometimes they come from, like, say, like with straight men, when they have these conversations with their friends, and just because they friend feel away, they feel like they got to jump on that back. Yeah, I hear you, man. Yeah, I don't play that. Feel
Well,
Right.
me?
it happened all on this episode of Bad Boys,
Hmm.
LA, where there was a guy named Moolah on the show, and him and this guy named Curtis were the only two straight guys in the house, and you could almost see Curtis like he had to back Moolah up on the homophobia, and it's almost like it was really weird because it showed just how fragile black men's sense of masculinity is, that they actually that it comes apart
Right.
Hmm.
when it comes to certain sexual acts, when it comes to the idea of a man being with another man, even if he doesn't want to be with a man, just even seeing something like that or watching a man behave effeminately just kind of shreds away at black men's masculinity. And it makes me feel sorry for black men that they have
Yeah.
something so fragile and so weak to the point that they have to
I
protect
love a
it,
mushy
to the
man.
point that they have to protect it through being completely enraged, like,
Hmm.
Right.
because there is no true solidarity actually there.
Right. If
Hmm.
to me, if you can empathize with someone else feel, regardless if they sleeping with the same sex, that doesn't make you a
Hmm.
good man because you empathize with them. That makes you human. And I
Mm.
think that's what a lot of people is losing sight on. It's just being human. We human. We make mistakes. We do things we want to do. We get wild. We act up. We do what at that moment is on our mind and we believe is in our heart. And a lot of people get shamed for doing that, for trying to figure themselves out.
It's
Even
true.
though your whole life you've been told, grow up, figure out who you are, do this, do that. But when as you trying to do it, you having backlash at you, it tends to throw up this wall of you don't really know either to climb the wall or stay sitting on the wall or just hide behind the wall. And that's how I'm looking at it when it comes to the men. They don't get to be themselves. And when
Hmm.
it comes down to that, it's circled into this big old bubble of pride that they really don't know how to control.
They don't, and you can ask them something. Babe, what's wrong? Nothing. Babe, come on now. And I know you something not right. Why don't you keep asking me? I said I'm good. It's like,
Every
yo,
time, every time. I think
because I know something wrong. What's up?
it's been 4 years. My husband can't even, excuse my language, shit wrong, and I not know that it went wrong.
Uh-huh.
And I tell him like, if you're huffing and puffing, I know what that means. If you sneeze, I know if you sick. If you just drag your foot, I know because that's my job to know.
Right.
So don't lie because I can't help you fix the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the hardest thing to do when grown men and married or in a relationship, and a lot of women, it's like a hit and miss. And it's like we shouldn't. A part of us, women, wants to help men grow up. And a lot of people say we shouldn't. But in time, well, over time, they haven't really had anyone to understand the fullness of what they went through. So when a person is there to try to understand the good, the bad, and the ugly, and kill half of the generational curses that they go through,
I'm
it,
telling you, I stand on that generation.
yeah,
People think I'm crazy, but it's real.
it is, and it goes not because you have to think. Majority of our parents had us when we was kids. My mom had me when she was 14.
My mom had my sister at 14.
And my grandma had a child at 13, 14. They were kids raising kids. So kids raising kids can only teach you kid things
Yeah.
until you start learning from getting around older people. And the same happened with me. I had my first child at 17. And my first two, I had to go back and apologize to them for the majority of the things that I did wrong because I thought it was right, but that was the way my mom instilled in me instead of looking at the bigger picture that it's a generational curse.
And that's another bad thing. Parents think they too good to apologize to their children.
Well, girl, I apologize with tears in my eyes and on my knees.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I was wrong in a lot of things that I did raising the older two. And now with the other ones, I'm trying to not make the same mistakes. I'm trying to hear how they feel and be more involved in them up. Not pushing them to be someone I want them to be, but more pushing them to try to find out who they want to be without me adding myself of what I could have did at that age, but I messed up. So it's more of like, I want you, if you want to go to college, go to college. If you don't, go to trade school. If not, hey, you want to start a business? I'm behind you 4,000% plus. Just know I'm going to support you. And if you fall, as your mom, I'm going to be there, but also understand I'm for right and not for wrong. If you do something wrong, I'm not going to sit there and give you like, yeah, you did a good job. No, baby, this is where you went wrong. But I'm still going to be supportive.
That's true. We done went all over the place. Conscious like, what
yeah, like, where we at now? I don't know, Conscious. That's the mind of a woman.
It's an after show. It's an after show. I ain't mad at it. I wanted to make sure that Yellow Pill come up here if you are in the chat. A Yellow Pill. I'll let ask you something. But that's what I always say on my platform, that men don't even realize how patriarchy is killing them too spiritually. It's killing them too intellectually. It's killing them too emotionally. It's killing them too physically. So it's really weird at how hard Black men go to hold on to, and maybe that's why they hold on to it, because maybe it's the only thing left as far as they're concerned of any sense of identity. And Black men don't want to take the opportunity to really find themselves, so they're holding on to something completely antiquated, and as a result, it is completely destructive to
it's very toxic.
him. And like with Miss Yoli talking about her feelings, like, you know, coming up in a family full of men, having brothers, having even dating other same gender loving men who were very like masculine presenting and who had a lot of toxic masculine traits. Like, it was just really, well, I'll say that. A Yellow Pill, welcome to the platform.
Hey, Yellow Pill.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good evening. Good evening.
I'm glad that you came up here as one of our residential cis hetero men. We were discussing, well, Miss Yellow was sharing some things about her husband in terms of his inability to really open up, to have emotional range, and to have a healthy sense of his own ability to feel and being comfortable expressing those feelings. He was also talking about the double standard that exists in the Black community, where it seems as though like Black men will accept bisexuality from women, but women will not accept or will discriminate against a man who has had a same gender loving experience, who have or who is openly bisexual. What do you think about that double standard, and why do you think that that double standard exists?
Okay, well, I'll address the double standard first. Definitely with that. Everybody like women. I'm just saying, women is nice. It's just like it's nice to see. I'm just saying, all things being fair, you know, I don't care who you is, you know, it's nice to just look at some women folk. But but I do agree though that there is a bad stigma against same gender loving men who or just because we kind of had this conversation and the one lady that I was talking to was like, and I just come straight out and say it, like she said that she would be okay if he was the dominant one, okay, if I'd say it like that, like a better term, right? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, what's the difference?
Oh,
you know
okay.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
well,
you know what I'm saying?
because what you're describing is a top or bottom. So
Right,
a woman
right.
was saying that if my man was dominating the man, if he was the top, I would be okay
Right.
with it. If I found out he was receiving,
Right.
I would have a problem with that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. She was like, she have a problem with it. I'm like, well, I mean, all things being fair, what's the difference? You know what I'm saying? Either way, they enjoy men. You know what I'm saying? So it is a double standard on that. Like I can kind of see where you're coming from.
Do you think that there is, like, for you as a man, is there something wrong with being connected to your feminine side? Like, what do you think about men who, like, and not even gay men, but like straight men who are comfortable in their masculinity and femininity? They will cry. They don't have a problem displaying a wide range of emotions, not just like happiness and rage, but everything in between. Men also who are very open-minded sexually when it comes to what they do in the bedroom with women. Some men like their prostates massaged. Some men like their ass ate. What do you think about men showing up this way?
I mean, it's crazy because I just featured on another panel and we was kind of talking about it. And it just said specifically sexually wise. And ladies, like it would be a lot better if you just listen to your man sometimes.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like listen to what he want. You know what I'm saying? Because you might find out he want a little something different. You know what I'm saying? It is, but I don't know. Like it is this heavy stigma against men and like showing our feelings and being emotionally vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? And that is a level of vulnerability that I think some men probably wouldn't be comfortable putting out there with their woman if she's not open-minded completely. You know what I mean? Because as open-minded as a lot of women seem, I don't think they are as much as they think they are. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think they open to as many things as they think they would be. You know, it's considering what a man coming from and like his lifestyle choices and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
So what's interesting about what you just said, Yellow Pill, is that you, on one end, women can't declare men be upfront about themselves, whether it's what they're like sexually, whether it's their orientation, but at the same time, hold explicit judgments and discriminations. It's just like you probably can't have your cake and eat it.
yeah,
like people are not going to be honest to be persecuted. That just doesn't even make rational sense. Like, why would someone be honest just to be persecuted against. Like,
right, or have it thrown back,
but
in
you
your face.
hear people talking out of both sides of their neck like this. Like, be honest, be honest, be honest. Be honest so that I can other you. Be honest so that I can marginalize you, and be honest so that I know how to discriminate against you. Like,
right.
what?
Yeah, it's like be honest so I can disqualify you. So
And
I can
then
find
why
out
would
what's
you?
wrong.
And then why would you be threatened by an honest man? You should be threatened about the nigga who can't say it. Versus the nigga who do have the balls to be like, yo, baby, like I like a little finger in my ass every now and again, every blue moon. I don't mind, like I like my ass ate. Or I've dated men before. I've had a boyfriend. I've had a same gender loving experience. Like, and that's the man you scared of? Like, that's literally what one of the embodiments of integrity is. Like, I would much rather be with an honest person who is clear within themselves.
I agree to that though.
Rather than be with a motherfucker who literally is containing secrets, and every bit of information you find out about him, you got to find out through a damn third party because he refuses to give it up on the 100 side. Like, I don't.
Next thing somebody come and checking for you, you don't even know what's going on.
Please don't let that happen to you. It's gonna go ugly. And honest, I told my husband everything he know about me being in a relationship with a male and a female, 2 relationships at the same time. You know everything that I have done. I have not hidden nothing, and I always told him to tell me the truth.
Right.
You have no idea where this mind can go, and I'm willing to go with you if you're willing to go with me. If you hide something though, you don't want to go there.
Right.
Because the last thing that I want is someone outside of my husband or any relationship. I always said this: don't let someone walk up on me and tell me something that will hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I can't do it.
And it won't hurt what they telling me.
No.
What's going to hurt is that they're telling me.
Yeah, you didn't tell me.
Right. That you didn't tell me, and a whole different person come to tell me, because I know they come to tell me out of despite.
Right. Yeah.
And that is what I cannot handle.
I agree with that.
You want to finger up the butt? I'm with you. Strap on, let's ride.
Yeah, well, if you don't please them in the way they want to be pleased,
That's
they're
right.
bad about it.
Let's pop this off. What you talking about?
Yeah,
That ain't nothing. Some of it I like. Let's not play games.
I had one to also invite Miss Flowers to the platform.
How can I speak?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? I'm speaking.
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, yep, I can.
Okay, yes. Welcome to the platform.
I wasn't sure. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hello.
Listen, don't put me on glad. I'm in the dark. But yo, for 15 years, right? I got 3 kids by this boy. And I'm like, but I know I won't even say gay because that's not fair. He just wasn't comfortable with himself. Now he got a whole wife. You know what I mean? So I'm like, nigga, I knew you was gay back then. That's why I cut it down. But I don't know. Like, I don't know who's listening to this, but yeah, fuck that. But I knew he was gay because, like, when we used to fuck, and we used to fuck in the butt, he used to put his finger in his butt. I'm like, damn, you like it in the butt. And so then one day I was like, all right, so I'm gonna put you in the butt. I'm gonna put you in the butt now. You know what I mean? So now put your legs up. And he was like, like he enjoyed that so much. I'm like, you a faggot. Like, and I don't have no. I like gay.
Wow.
If you don't heard that word, though, it's the F word.
Okay, you are. We can't say gay. That's the thing.
No, you can say gay. You can say gay. That's fine.
Right. Well, he was gay.
Yeah, because YouTube will censor it'll censor the video for the other word.
Yeah. So anyway, but and then like my cousin who a hoe, she was like, if you in love with a guy that like it up the butt And I think she was telling me that on purpose, because like she's my first cousin. I'm like, well, damn, why you saying this to me? But anyway, long story short, it makes sense in hindsight. Now in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. I fucking get it. So you must have been doing that with them and them and them. I'm like, why you got to? He said his cousin from well, yeah, y'all don't know. His cousin from Oxford used to mess him as a kid. I'm like, he probably did, but you still like it. You like it because like when I be like, with my legs up in the air,
Okay.
when you start reaching and touching shit, his finger was always in his butt. I'm like, well, damn. If that's how you like it, say that. But we did that too. And said, let me put your legs up in the air, pussy. Put your legs up. He was like, yeah, yeah. But I won't repeat this shit again after the night.
I'm done.
I never forgot that. You understand? I never forgot it.
To the bottom of my butt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is he married to a man or a woman?
He married to a woman, but that's the fake off. That's the fake
Okay.
out. You know what I
But
mean? Like,
I'm sorry.
I never forgot that. I
But
never
what
forgot
if he
that.
just? What if? I'm sorry for interrupting you. But what if he just? Okay. What? Okay. What if he's not gay and he just like things up his buttocks? I'm trying to fix that the best way I
What
know how.
about it?
Yeah, like maybe he do enjoy being with women, but they do say that a man can orgasm by things being in their butt.
Mm,
And even
I agree with that.
and I mean,
I agree. I agree. Because like it seemed like we both had the best orgasm when I was a nigga and he was a bitch. So how that go?
Oh, you're a dominatrix. It's okay. You be all right.
I'm listening and I'm thinking that maybe you not being honest with yourself. I
Right.
think I think you might like you know what I'm saying?
Probably so.
Like
It all depends on how they doing what they doing. Like,
period.
But then that
yeah.
goes down to their sexuality too. It's all about what you like in bed.
Yeah, but I was saying that to him like from since I was like 16 or something. I'm like, how you like it? And he's like, no, I ain't never gonna do that. I ain't gay. I ain't like motherfucker.
Oh
I'm
God,
like,
everything
so
else.
one night, listen. I was like, one night, now you lay on your back, put your legs up, pussy. And he did it willingly. He's like, yeah. So you like that, right? You like this, you like that. And so I already knew. I knew from that day on, like,
But that don't mean he like men, Miss
Right.
yes, it do.
No, it don't.
Huh?
Maybe he just like a woman to dominate him.
Because that's almost like saying
Yeah.
because you were willing to peg him, that makes you lesbian.
Got a point.
Yeah. I already told him like,
And it doesn't.
Was that the only time you did?
the
no.
only time that
Right.
I did it with him.
Only time with him.
Yeah.
So it's been others.
I was 17. No, it's been in my mind since I was younger.
So maybe you still want to do it.
Huh?
Maybe you still want to be dominant.
So that's what you call it. I don't know. Like, I'm
Well,
like, I don't know.
Maybe you
I
want to
think that
roll.
there's a more practical explanation. Women obviously have masculine forces inside of them, and men have feminine forces inside of them. And sometimes a woman, I mean, I think it's okay for both sexes to engage their energies. If men want to experience submissiveness and they feel comfortable doing that
Yeah.
in confines of their
yeah.
relationship to the woman that they
But
with, and a woman want to experience her masculinities in the confinement of the relationship she in, like with her man, like if, and it comes out in different forms. Sometimes it comes out in the reversal of the
I
gender
was
roles.
surprised. I was surprised, like he
Sometimes it
allowed me to
comes
do
out
it.
in the sex activities that take place. A yellow pill. Are you into being tied up in shit? Like, do you like to be dominated by a woman?
I'm paranoid about life. I can't have my hands tied
Oh
up.
wow!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta let go and be
It's all trust.
Different
It's all
circumstances. Oh no, yeah, I gotta be free and let some crazy stuff go on. Now, I'm, you know what I'm saying.
okay.
Yeah.
Just my luck. Be just my luck. I'm like, all right, baby, go ahead.
The
Tie me up.
case
And that
busted.
be like somebody breaking the house.
Oh wow! You're paranoid.
How do you feel about a woman who is sexually aggressive? Like, do you like a woman who kind of
1,000 times.
wants to
Fuck me
dominate?
to my favorite song.
When I say a dominate, I'm not talking about like handcuffs, but just like who's aggressive. Like she want you to she want to run the show.
I'm submissive. I'm submissive
like,
until
like initiate pretty much.
When I get aggressive.
I mean, outside of heck yeah.
See,
you know what I'm saying? Most men like that shit when we don't have to initiate the sex and she take over. If like I jump in, I walk in the door and she just jump on me through the door. Hell yeah, go ahead, have your way, woman.
Yeah, I think men
okay,
like
so
that
that's fine.
sometimes.
I just wanted to ask that because that was like 20 years ago, and that always lingered in the back of my mind. I'm like, well, damn, like, and we did it like 2 or 3 times, and I was like, well, like I'm gonna leave that alone. But yeah,
I think you like it, and you just want to pursue it again. You
Yeah.
just have to love that person.
yeah,
I'm just saying, everybody need to get rid of the goddamn gender and sexual biases. If women can do it and still claim to their straightness, because I've always said I've always said that I feel like they might as well add the H to the acronym. It might as well be LGBTQIA, standing for heterosexuality, because all type of freaky shit go on in the heterosexual community too. Is all like you got cis hetero women who like you got everything that go on in the LG goes on in the hetero. Like I literally be looking on porn sites and I be seeing 50 billion 11 categories y'all have just for heterosexual dynamics.
I look for men to men porn because I'm like I know what I like, so I'm like I want to see if they like what I like, and they like it too. So like it's all about having a good time and feeling good. To me, that's how I take it.
Can we make sex pleasurable again?
Please do it. Shit.
Okay. I have some more questions for the panel, but I want to get my mod and my sis up here. Oz, are you there, love?
Hey, mod. Hey, panel.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Girls and boys and girls, or in between. Hello.
Good evening, panel.
Wait, hold on. I'm tired and I'm too confused. Is that Oz speaking? Like who's speaking?
That's you.
This Mr. Oz speaking.
Who's who? Oh, it's welcome to the platform, Mr. Oz. Thank you for being here. Your thoughts, I guess, on what?
I put my whole name.
Well, my wife is on sabbatical with the Lord right now, so I gotta fill in the gap.
She's doing a devil dance.
She's doing God's work.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna
Yeah, that's what I was.
I'm not gonna be up here long tonight. So what are your thoughts on the subject? Whatever, I don't even know what the hell our subject is, but
it is what it is.
I'll say this.
Listen, move my headphones on.
I I am 100% straight.
No, you're not.
Mrs. Flowers, calm down and allow Mr. Oz
That's a lie.
to complete a sentence.
Something like that.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and tell you good night, Mrs. Flowers. A good night, boo. Go ahead, Mr. Oz.
Lord.
Mr. Oz, can you hear me? Okay, I think something is going on with Mr. Oz's volume. I forgot what the hell I was gonna ask y'all. God damn it.
There's a lot going on early in the morning.
Right.
Yellow pill.
What up?
I mean, so what is your own, like, what are you connected to, like, do you feel complete, like, as a man? Like, what is your experience of, like, your sense of self? Like, I mean, like, do you feel like you have a complete sense of self?
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure I figured out who I am. 35 years, I done been through my ups and downs, but as a man, you have to take those kind of trials. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of figured out who I am though. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah.
Do you feel like you are connected to your masculinity and femininity?
Yeah. I'm pretty
And
cool with that.
what does that look like for you? Like, what does your masculinity look like to you, and what does your femininity look like to you?
Okay. All things being fair, it could fluctuate because my strength could be considered. My strength can be considered masculine in just being able to pick up a lot and lift stuff and being able to, have strength for the family and stuff like that. But then my strength could be feminine where I have empathy. I'm very empathetic. You know what I'm saying? And some people could look at that as like a feminine trait. So I hear that emotion, like being emotional is feminine. I'm one of the most emotional people I know. I'll tell you that in a minute. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of trips me out that we hear a lot of men who speak, and we hear a lot of men in these spaces, and they try to act like men should be like void of emotion, and that's asinine. Like that's why most
Yoli, Yoli on the panel, she was saying her husband is kind of clogged up like that, like he's
like too stoic. Yeah, like men don't have to be that stoic. Like that do something to us after a while, man. Like anything, you can't let stuff build up because it's not like those feelings just aren't there. They just don't express them. And for some men that might work, they might express them differently. It might suppress them and be able to move on, and that eventually gets the job done. But man, a lot of men do struggle with their emotions, and I mean, I might struggle in the opposite way because I'm not going to sit there and struggle with my emotions. Like I'm gonna say what's on my mind and express myself, so I don't have to sit up there and deal with it.
Have you ever felt like you had to be more masculine than what you was for women? Like, did you ever felt like the pressure to be more masculine?
In a way, yeah, because it just really seems like it's never enough, right? It does really seem like it's never enough. If you let up a little bit, sometimes it'll be like, oh well, real men don't do. You'll hear real men don't do that, and real men don't do this. Well, it's like, well, damn, do I get a break? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just the same way. I don't feel like women should have to force femininity all the time. If you're not just a feminine woman all the time, or you don't have to do that shit. If you don't want to wear makeup and do your hair all the damn time, as long as you cute and you can get away with it, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? You could buck up against the normal standards of femininity, and that's cool because you know what I'm saying. It's less pressure on you.
That's
You know
funny.
what
'Cause
I'm saying?
I do get that a lot, even like with friends and going out. I'm give me my jeans and some booty boots and a nice, tank, and I'm not heavy on the makeup, but I do my lip gloss and maybe a little bit of eyeliner, but I'm not all for the mascara type thing, and I will get things like not gonna do your face. I'm like, this is my face. Like what?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And we don't be
I don't
on that
knock
much
it, but it's nothing
because
that
you'll get
I
the same. Because y'all get the same attention in
I
that
yeah.
circumstance, in that situation, as you will in the grocery store with your hair up in the bun,
Yeah.
looking crazy as hell, trying to grab some shit off the shelf. He'll come up and say the same thing to you. So you know what I'm saying? If feminine and masculine is just shit. It's just be. I think it's more or less what Conscious is trying to say. It's just like having an understanding of where you stand on that, like where
Right.
you fall on that kind of like spectrum, where you fall on
Mm-hmm.
Because I fall in between tomboy.
it.
I will rock and mess out some gym shoes, a t-shirt,
Yeah, I'm a sneaker girl, please.
and I might put on a dress here and there. But like I told my husband, this is what you married. I like being comfortable, and I don't wear makeup and don't really know how to put it on.
Right.
But a lot of men still approach me with
Mm-hmm.
me being a tomboy or whatever name they want to throw at me.
I think a lot of times, like they could tell if you comfortable within your own self.
Yeah,
You
because
know.
I love me some me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have days like that. I mean, like I don't like my femininity and masculinity is literally all over the place. Like it just like wh- whatever I need in the moment is what I'm going to use inside of me. So
Yeah.
if it requires my femininity, then I'm going to utilize my femininity. If it's my masculinity, I'm going to utilize my masculinity. Like nobody had to like teach me or instill these things in me. They just are in all of us. I
Yeah.
think it just depends on the way we're socialized and maybe some other factors that determines the way we relate to these energies that move through all of us. But I I I I want to see us. I want to see a as a Black community.
Mhm.
We got to let up off of Black men, so Black men can breathe within themselves, like so that they can breathe within themselves. Like when I cannot like when Storm asked that question to women and like there was 50,011 no's, like hardly no woman was like made space in herself to just allow Black men's sexuality to be just as normalized as women's oftentimes are treated. Like I was like, don't y'all see how Black men then get entrapped in this same toxic masculinity y'all were preached against, but then will reinforce without even knowing that you're reinforcing that toxicity. And it's not even just about sexuality, it's just about being able to appreciate men having the capacity to feel and having sensitivities and being able to be emotionally present and emotionally um, aligned, and also us doing the work to like remove all the stigma off of
But
sex with our partners. Because for me, like when I think about sex, like the only thing that comes to mind is pleasure. I don't think of an act or a position that's I don't even like masculine or feminine. It's just like it's it's just an enjoyable time for people to indulge in their fantasies of each other and to indulge in pleasure, but to even bring all of that social construct into the sexual moment, it just seems like it's such a burden to carry. I don't understand how people can carry all these social constructs around. Like it's too many programs. Like for
and
me,
it's like women don't
I'm
like.
too lazy to be that compliant with all of these social
Mhm.
constructs. I just have to be a weirdo. I am free
Uh,
and
Hello,
happy
Ray.
as a weirdo. I cannot try to tightrope all of this I don't even know what the fuck is all of this.
Too much.
The
But I
only
like.
thing that comes natural to me is just to be my natural self. I don't. The
Mhm.
rest of this shit is man made that I'm doing.
Right.
Trying not to be that. Trying not to be this. Got a little bit. I'm just going to fucking be, and that's my normal. It's being just my fucking self, whatever the fuck that is.
Right. And if it
But I
makes you
know, like, even back, like, I like mushy men. I like him to come put his head on my breast or whatever the case.
oh,
Now it's like, I don't know. It's like they want to sit way over there or whatever the case. Like, I don't know. It used to be so different. Like, they don't even, like, before they would have those conversations of you being my lady or going out to eat. Or now it's like if I smash you, I'm yours or whatever the case. Or the woman get the wrong feeling. You know, I didn't say we was dating. We just was doing our thing. But some women are like, well, do your thing. Well, I don't just give myself to anybody. What you talk, it's just confused now.
Mm. It
They
is.
don't
It's
have
like,
those
Hey,
conversations.
Country.
Like, are we building? Or are we going to try to have something? Or are we just flinging? Or like those conversations don't happen no more, and that's a problem.
yeah. If we can tap into that a little bit, I want to welcome Oz back to the platform, Pop Culture and Kelly. Mr. Oz, is your audio back? Because you had went blank earlier. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay, you're back. So, um, your thoughts on, I guess, some of the
Right. I'm. I was pretty, pretty straight. I was doing the church thing. So as far as doing everything else, I just wasn't used to that. When I met my wife, and the first time she licked my nipple, that was strange to me. It kind of threw me. But then she taught me to come out of my comfort zone, so to speak, and to explore a lot of things that I didn't explore. Because back in the day, I wasn't into what a lot of guys was into as far as a girl going down on them or doing that stuff never appealed to me. So when my wife introduced all of them elements, it was a brand new thing for me. So when you're talking about sticking a finger up there, that is that is where the man's pressure point is. It's called milking the prostate. That has to be done in men's lives anyway. So if that's where that zone is, that don't make you feel any type of way. I'm yet a man. I yet know what I like, but she introduced something that was new to me. And to be very honest, that's the way that it is. I mean, I can be a little female as that's going on, but when it's over with, I'm back to being a grown ass man.
amen.
Period. But you got to be able to be comfortable within yourself. I don't have to second guess because she's putting her finger or her tongue there. I got to be now, this is what I desire, and now I need to be with a guy. That is not the case at all. Whatever you do in the privates of your home that ain't harming nobody else, you do what you can do. Some women like chocolate, like honey on the nipples. These is so many things that brings variation to your situation. And I love it. At 52 years old, we do it like we just met. 20 years, 27 years legally married. We still act like we just met each other. And for I heard earlier about somebody said something about having kids and it's not as tight as it was.
refuse
I
to
got
lose.
to disagree 100%.
Well, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. I know. For me, I'm
Well,
saying.
I'm sure a woman's vagina is not a
And then I guess
monolithic
it
or
depends on the size of the penis. I don't know.
well, I'm sure. I mean, it's a woman's vagina, so I'm sure that it's not like a universal thing. All y'all
Right.
don't have the same vagina. All y'all not
Exactly.
having. I mean, yeah.
I'm I'm a Pisces. I'm a sensitive person. I'm aware of all of my feelings and other people's feelings too. But I'm yet a man. I don't have to define myself because I look at something and I'm emotional and I cry. That's who I am. And we got to be able to cry, whether it's with you or by yourself. You
Mhm.
just, I ain't that dude when it comes down to understanding my emotions. But when it comes down to the erogenous zones, is what they call them, trust and believe. With this heifer here, I have learned a whole lot. Like,
Now, Mr. don't be calling no help. Don't be calling her no help for knowing that she can't touch you like that.
But I do believe that men are sometimes like sometimes the woman make the man feel like he's soft because he got a different response, or he shouldn't certain things shouldn't bother him, or he should act like he don't feel a certain way, and I do think it's a lot of pressure on the men far as how they should behave instead of just letting them know that, especially if you their significant other, they should be able to break down if they need to, and it
I'm
shouldn't be
I,
a
yeah,
problem.
I'm here to
yes.
catch you.
Hey,
yeah.
I
Conscious.
had,
Hey, Conscious. This is Kelly. I'm on my 10-minute break. I just want to tell you I loved you tonight on the Storm Monroe show. I
Thank,
enjoy everything you said, and
thank you.
you always speak truth. And those people over there, they're really opinionated and they think they about perfect. But you brought it
Mm.
home tonight, and I love you.
Thank you so much, Kelly. I
Okay,
appreciate you. Boo. Thank you for the
okay.
support and for your donation because I got your donation as well, boo. I love
Yeah,
you and thank you.
I had to show you some love because you be
Yeah,
working it. We got to donate and support you wherever you go. You
I,
know.
Mhm.
I thank you. I
Okay,
appreciate the love.
I got to go back on the flow. And I love you, and I catch you
Okay,
on my
babes.
point
Take care.
tomorrow.
I love you too, boo.
Okay, bye bye.
All right, babe. And I do want to shout out all of the Conscious Crew members who came out and held it down, child. Y'all know that the chat was wild and baby. And so those of you, because I really didn't see the chat while I was,
Yeah, they be on. Storm
on.
got the chat going on over there.
Yeah, the chat was going on. Like I knew it was popping off in the chat, but I just want to thank everybody who was, there
Yeah.
and holding the king down and all of that. Mr. Oz, you were, I think, saying something as well.
we have to, I had to
So
learn a
well,
whole
I have a
lot of,
question.
oh, go
What do
ahead.
you think that black men like? Because a yellow pill is saying that like thank God he is in touch with his emotional body, his intellectual body, etc. What where do you think change for black men for the better starts at? Like, is it going to take men like you and Yellow Pill to encourage other black men and to say, hey, I know that we got like our community expects us to be, to Yellow Pill's point, like stoic and like robotic and void of emotion and void of empathy, but that's literally trash. Your manhood includes your empathy. Your manhood includes your compassion. Your your manhood includes having the courage to come face to face with your own pain. That all those things are included in your, like. Is it going to take y'all, or where where do we, like, what do you think a black man need in order to break free from some of the pathologies that permeate our community?
Well, it starts with these type of conversations. Cause like I said, back in the day, I was the same stupid way. I had a stupid way of thinking. And as
Mm,
it could have been church brain because I grew up in the church, so it was a different thing. But like I said, my wife opened my eyes, and it takes the right type of woman to really show you and for you to sit back because we don't listen too much, honestly. We don't listen enough to what women are trying to say because we think we know it all. I'm the man, I got this. But I had to realize I don't have this. And if it wasn't for my wife, I'd be in a much worse situation. She has made me a better person. She's made me a better man. And to me, I've always had that quality of I got to look good no matter where I'm going, no matter who I'm with. If I got a short set that is purple, my toes are painted purple, and I'm a grown man. And ain't nobody never questioned why my toes are colored purple. I like to coordinate. So, in me doing that, I like to stick out. So if I'm walking through the mall, you gonna look at me, and that's all that matters. But I'm a grown man at the same time, and I haven't. My wife is more masculine than me. My wife is the tank top, the shorts. That's my wife. Where I am the more, if you would call the feminine type, but that's how I've always been. So we work together when it comes down to our situations together. And as far as being a dominant person in the bedroom, I'm laying back going for the ride. She's gonna do what she got to do. I never feel like I'm with the brother with the tying up. That's kind of like a slave thing, and I ain't. You can't tie me up because I could have done something in the past that now you gonna pay me for. So I ain't getting tied up for you to have an advantage over me because it's gonna be a whole problem. But everything else, I mean, I've been on all fours. I've been my feet up in the air. Yeah, there's a man, but like I say, in that moment when it's going down like that, it is a feeling that you would not believe. It puts you in a different mind state. So I got to come to myself when it's over, like, wow, okay, you did that. But it keeps your situation, it keeps your relationship, because let's be clear, a lot of people that, oh, I don't lick toes, I don't do this, I don't do that. There's people out there that'll do a whole lot worse. And then you wonder why your man is looking at this certain thing or he's moving over this way, and now you wonder what's wrong with me. Well, Becky gonna do what she gonna do. Maria gonna do what she gonna do. You got to find out what do you like, what you don't like, and are you willing to try something that's not going to put you so way out if you feel that way about your masculinity. I'm masculine, but I'm sensitive at the same time, and it's got to be a yin yang situation for anything to work. We got to have communication. Don't just whip up on me and do some stuff that I'm not prepared for, because then that's when the situation happens. But if you know, in having conversations, that pillow talk, well, babe, would you do this? Wonder if I did this. From his or her reaction, you'll know if that's even a possibility. And that's how we have maintained ourselves for 27 years. And like I said before, it's as if we just met. It ain't nothing changed. And when my wife came out and said, I am very interested in women, that threw me at first for a loop. But then I had to go back 20 years earlier by my stupid conversations and the way that I acted when she would say there was a pretty girl on the TV and, oh, she got a nice butt. I would talk stupid. That was the stupid me. She had to learn me to understand what's really going on. And now, let me tell you something. We're going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off. I know my place. She respects me as a grown man, but I respect her as a grown man too. And that's just the way that it is.
All right. I ain't never heard it put like that, but I like it.
Right.
You,
Do
Drop
you
the
hear
you
me?
mic. Drop the mic.
Hey,
real.
hey, I tell nothing but the truth. I tell nothing but the truth, but it's a beautiful thing. So many people, if in it for the finance, it's not going to work. If you're in it just for the sex and the sex goes to the left, then you got to have everything come together equally. Me and my wife can have a grown conversation. My wife is my homie, my buddy, my friend, and my wife, but I know my place. There's a lot of things that I'm not good at that my wife helps me with. So we have such a partnership that ain't nothing gonna be able to break this because whatever I ask, she's gonna give it to me. No matter what. My wife has took care of me more than I took care of her. And to be very honest, she's the nympho. I'm the one that want to sit back and watch the game and chill out. And she's the one that's raring to go. So the thing of it is when you got a good woman or a good man that never says no to your desires, sky's the limit. And you gonna make it straight like that. And that's coming from a preacher.
Yeah, especially if it's reciprocal,
And you gonna make it.
because
Sound like I was.
it definitely got to go both ways to be healthy for both partners. And I have been in one-sided relationships. Probably all of us have probably been in disproportionate relationships, etc. But um, I admire you and Mrs. Oz unconditional love for each other and your comfortability around your own like femininity as a man and how you don't look at your femininity as a weakness. You don't look at it as something that makes you incompetent or impartial in any kind of way. And the fact that you can relax like into your feminine qualities. Have you, before you met Miss Oz, like before your relationship popped off, do like, because I had asked a yellow pill that I'm asked a pop culture this too. I had asked him like, did he feel like he have to rev up the masculinity for women? Did you ever feel, even if you didn't give into the pressure, did you ever feel the pressure to be a certain type of masculine?
No, sir. I did. I listen. I did a whole lot of stuff before I met my wife in the church and out of the church. It was bad, and I didn't care. It was about me. I didn't feel like I had to do anything. I've always been the dude. If you want me, you got to take care of me. You got to feed me. You got to buy me some cologne. So if you want to say I was the woman part, if this woman want to hang out with me, you got to take care of me, and then I take care of you. It switched when I met my wife. So I've never felt in my life that I had to be masculine. I grew up with six sisters. I grew up in the house. I know how to sew. I know how to cook. I know how to iron clothes. I do that domestic stuff. I, as far as changing a tire, my wife changed the tire. I don't get my hands dirty like that. That's just, I'm keeping it real with you. As far as the manual labor, that's my wife. You give me
And
all the
does she
cosmetic
enjoy
stuff.
that? Like, and she enjoys
Oh yes. She would rather
she
do
would,
that. She
I
would
love your
rather
wife.
listen. We both we both got into an altercation with a next door neighbor, and this man punched me in the mouth. I felt some type of way. He reached around and punched my wife. She took the punch better than me. So I knew then who I married. So when it comes down to how we yin and yang with each other, she's a Leo. So her attitude is anybody can get it. So I'm the calm, cool, sensitive person that'll try to squash anything, no matter what it is. I would squash it, whereas my wife is
but
ready to
it's
go,
literally
no
like
matter
Mr.
what.
Oz, it's literally like you have the male body but have a lot of the divine feminine in you, and your wife has the female body, but possesses a lot of the divine masculine in her. Like,
You
and
are
it's
100% correct.
and it's interesting. Like, and that is very and that's very
Team Leo.
fascinating.
Team Leo. I love your wife.
I'm being honest with you. If
And I want
if
y'all to
you
keep
put
in mind, because I think that I know some of y'all in the chat getting a little like, okay, what the fuck? I want y'all to keep in mind, Mr. Oz
Just grown.
is comfortable in his femininity and the way that that shows up inside of him, and the masculine things that his wife does, like change, retire shit. These are things that she naturally feels inclined to do. It's not that he's sitting on the side and Mrs. Oz is forced to do what he refuses to do because he thinks he's too damn pretty. These are things that come as organic to her as they do a man who is masculine identifying, who would feel the need to go rotate the tires, etc. Both of them
yeah,
are showing up in their consciousness in a way that's natural to them. And it kind of, and what's fascinating about it, Mr. Oz, is that it destroys the heteronormative gender role construct altogether. Because, men are assigned these things that your wife do, and women are assigned these things that you as a husband do. As you said, you the domestic one.
yes.
And she's the one who is more manual, more hands-on. She, is willing to get dirty. I I love that. Pop culture. Can you hear me?
I'm here.
Welcome to the platform. Well, first, your thoughts on whatever you've heard here so far tonight.
Yeah, I know that was a lot.
What?
No, but what caught me though
Mhm.
was the whole how to be a man, or what is it to be a man in a black community. That's what grasped me. And should you have to ratchet it up, or whatever the case is in regards to being masculine. And then I listened to you as you had your soliloquy about yourself, and I was in alignment with that. Was know who you are first, and then you can worry about navigating, contributing to society, offering good advice. But I do think that there's a huge think tank in our community. Like wherever the majority goes, that's where like our everybody goes. That's
Yeah.
just what it is. Instead of being an individual, it's like, no, I am me, and this is my standard. Okay. And for me, I admire a person that knows themselves and knows how to lead themselves without listening to the noise. Because when you listen to the noise, you are less than yourself. As far as the bedroom behavior, I know I've only been on your show once before, but that is a private thing. But whatever standard you set for yourself, that's just what it is. So, like the gentleman said, if he's more on the feminine side, she's more on the masculine, and it works out for them, that's great for them. But he can't say this is how you do it. This is how everybody should do it, because it may not work that way. So that's why, one, you have to know yourself. So if you want to find yourself, if you're a man and you say, I want to be in a leadership position and I want all the smoke that comes with it, and you're equipped to do with it, if you're mentally stable to handle all those things, so be it. But you have to, in my opinion, that's something that you decide on your own, as opposed to having society telling you what you should or should not be.
Yeah. Yeah, because we even have a cis hetero woman here in the chat, Joni Signatures, who is completely flabbergasted and in awe of Mr. and Mrs. Oz relationship dynamics, because she is a woman, according to her, who feels naturally oriented toward leading, toward, I guess, a lot of things that are considered masculine in nature. And now, because she's hearing about Mr. and Mrs. Oz, she knows that it's possible because there's a lot of men who also like to be submissive. They naturally, like, they prefer to be led and to kind of assist in whomever the leader is rather than actually playing the leadership role. And once again, my own pendulum swings from left to right. Like, I can get into leadership and get into being the alpha male, and then I can also move into submission and be a help aid to, you know, whomever is taking up this the space. I can give whatever needs to be given. And
I agree with that in terms of I believe in balance, and whoever's the strongest in whatever situation, I'm gonna let you lead. So if it just happens to be a woman that's better at a particular thing, okay, you got this. But if I'm better at another thing, then I got this. So if I'm good with money and you suck with money, I'm managing the money. But if you know how to clean and I can't sweep, then okay, then you got this. It's whatever. I just use those as examples. But yeah, I believe in playing to your strengths.
Yeah.
So can you talk to me, because I had asked the men on the panel about their masculine femininity. What is your relationship to your masculine fem energies? Like, how does your femininity show up, if it does at all, and how does your masculinity show up in you?
You know, that is funny that you asked that. Because you know, I'm in a new relationship now, right? And she would, and we're learning each other, okay? This is the time. If you want to figure stuff out, this is the time early in the game as opposed to late. And then you shocked. That's the where that come from. No, it's some things that I would do and I would not do. I mean, I can't say I was go as far as I guess the couple, I don't know what his name is to the right of me. I wouldn't go that far, but yeah.
Okay, so when you say that far, like what do you mean by that far? Like, what is that far?
Well, it sounds like to me that he's more explorative, and you know, that's him. You know, I'm not judging him, but that's him, and I'm being me. So I'm more conservative in that way. So I wouldn't call it a masculine thing. I just think I would call it probably a more conservative than a masculine thing. Because I don't be like, no, I'm a man, I ain't gonna do that, you know. But I don't know. I'm not that explorative when it comes to, you know, trying to lean what's deemed to be feminine. I just pretty much stay in my lane. Whatever you call the typical man lane, I stay in that lane.
Okay, so are you saying that you pretty much feel like you don't really have, or you don't utilize any feminine traits, I guess? Like,
nah,
no?
Not when it comes to personal stuff. Nah.
But I don't even know. But I ain't even asked about a personal, like, or just in general. Like, does your femininity show up anywhere, in any space, in any?
Yeah. I believe that's a social construct that I do not accept. I believe I'm just being me. So if society deems it as feminine, then so be it. Like a well-dressed, like I said, I like to look good, be presentable. Okay, a well-dressed man, because a lot of people think that men can't dress, and yes, a lot of men can't dress, in my opinion. You know, but I want to show that yes, we can dress, we could think, and when I say we, now I'm talking about me. If I could take advice as to how to look sharper and look more pleasing, then I'll be willing to listen to whoever that can better me. Because that's what it's all about, is bettering myself. So I don't mind listening to whoever it is. If you can help me be a better me, I'm lending the ear to you.
Okay, so let me ask you some questions now. Do you cry?
Of course I cry.
And,
yes, of course.
How do you feel when you're crying? Like, do you feel like you're doing something you're not supposed to do? Do you try not to cry, or do you allow yourself to be emotional if you are having an emotional moment?
I'm comfortable being me. So I think if it's my time to cry, then I'm gonna cry. Now it depends on the situation. Like if I'm around like my family or something like that, and I'm talking about like kids or something like that, because sometimes you want to have the strong front, and you can't like have like your kids see you cry or something like that, you know. But then sometimes, like when you're by yourself, you do have to have that good cry, depending on what it is that makes you cry. But I don't believe there's nothing wrong with crying. You're human. You're made to cry. So be human. Be yourself.
Okay, so you keep crying by yourself. Are you comfortable enough in yourself and in your emotion to cry in front of someone, to then cry in front of your mate, to cry in front of other men,
Oh yeah.
even?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Because like I said, I'm not really thinking about the outside opinion. I'm just being me. I'm in the moment. And to me, when I cry, 9 times out of 10, it's because I'm showing that I care about someone. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm weak. It's just I'm caring. I'm like, oh my God, like somebody got to an accident or whatever, or a family member is sick and I can't help her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you feel, well, I'm gonna speak for myself. When I feel defenseless, I'm like, dang, I can't do nothing for this person. And I would like to do it. It's kind of like a mix of emotions, like a little bit of rage and a little bit of, sadness. And yeah, it's just a mix of emotion, man. Just sometimes you gotta let it go. That's just
How do
what
you
it is.
feel around like about sentimentalness? Like, are
Mm.
you moved by things that you observe or witness or?
Oh, I'm a big time observer. Yeah. Yeah. If somebody did something that I'm moved. I'm like, because I appreciate that. Like when I see somebody move mountains, figuratively, I'm like, wow, you actually push society forward right there and whatever you did. Like the first Obama speech in like Denver Stadium, like that speech was moving. I'm like, this is what we've been saying a long time, where he's not red, not blue America, but United States of America. Us as black people look forward, like we want that to be heard. Like we need to see that like on TV. We need to know that everybody hears the message that we've been saying that has not, that we don't think that's been heard enough. As far as dividing the states, and he was, at least the speech was it was moving.
Yeah, man, I'm worse than that. Like I'm the type that like, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm the type that'll like cry at like the soldiers reunions. Like I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Like them little videos where it be like the reunion of the soldiers and all that, or like the My Wish stuff and all that, man. Like, yeah, I'm a sucker, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna hold you. Like like I cry in movies and shit. Like,
that's amazing.
Yeah. Like I remember, like the last time I did, it was like I was watching Hamilton, and it was like, but it was a specific part though. It was a specific part. It was like it does have to, it has to trigger a certain emotion. Now I'm not just finna be able to watch random Hallmark movie number 5 and just bust out into tears. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if it's got something to do with like family or like stuff like that, or if it's something like I feel like connected with me, hey shit, that shit gonna hit you right in the feels.
Yeah.
Hit you right in the field. So yeah,
I know that Mr. Oz, he want to respond to something in the chat, but I have another question for you all as well after he addresses whatever he about to address. Go ahead, Mr. Oz.
I forgot what that was.
It was the devil anyway.
But right. But I like what the young brother was saying. I I had went to the movies me and my wife, and we saw the movie Save the Last Dance. And
Oh,
I'm not really, it takes a lot for me, even though I'm a sensitive person. But
mhm.
that part of that movie where she was crying that her mama had passed away, when I found myself, I was crying in that movie theater. And at that time, I got irritated at myself because I'm like, what in the heck am I doing? But I found myself crying because of the situation. I feel people. And that's, if you're hurting, I'm hurting. And if we're close enough, you cry, I'm going to cry with you. But as far as me outright just crying at anything that happens, I haven't cried in a minute. It's I don't know what that is, uh, and it's not about me being a man and I don't want to cry and I'm holding it in. No, it's just some people just don't have it like that. Now, when I was younger, I cried all the time, and sometimes I had a big reason to cry, but I was more sensitive growing up. But when I became a man, so to speak, then I guess if I'm in church and I'm feeling the spirit, okay, I'm going to shed some tears, something church related. But as far as being in the house and something happened, my mother passing away, my grandmother passing away, I I didn't feel that same pull and push to cry because I had a relationship with them. So as far as me breaking down that way, but this is a great conversation. It's learning a lot of people to come out of their comfort zone and be free to feel how you want to feel. Now, your sister, Conscious TV, wants you to replay this on Saturday so she can speak because I'm speaking for both of us right now, and you know better than I do that she has a lot more to say than I do. She's the talker, and I'm the one sitting back. So this is my time to shine, but she wants you to play this back so she can give her side of this beautiful story.
You know, these conversations are never ending over here, so they're like an everyday occurrence. Uh, for sure. Now, I wanted to ask you and pop culture and your appeal because since me and Miss Ayoli are we're definitely in touch with our shit. But how do y'all feel as men when it comes to like vulnerability? Like I know, like I've watched a lot of men historically and personally who really try to avoid like feelings of love, especially romantic love. Like I've even watched men attempt to cheat in order to like to try to numb the feelings of vulnerability and romance that they feel like just out of fear. Like I watch men literally intentionally cheat and keep other women kind of on a back burner and will indulge in those like extramarital or will indulge in like those side in that side chick culture just so that they won't fall completely in love, even though they feel the temptation to fall completely for the person that they're with, but they would try to curb all of that vulnerability. Like, have y'all ever struggled, like, when y'all have fallen in love as men, like, and been uncomfortable with feeling that exposed emotionally, feeling that um deep about somebody, like, or did y'all feel comfortable in those feelings and allow yourselves to fall into that depth? Starting with you, Yellow Pill.
Well, I guess I could use my last relationship
Mm-hmm.
as my best example. Um, I started off being honest and being vulnerable, and it kind of bit me in the ass. It was like I was being told that I was being too blunt or I was being too straightforward, and which I don't know. In hindsight, I guess my delivery, or you know what I'm saying, the way I might have been telling the truth might have been a little off, but I was being as honest in the most honest way I could. Like it was never no bad intent behind it, but it tended to get thrown in my face a lot of times. Like it would always come back on me in like an argument or some, some stupid fight or some long 8-paragraph text message about what I did wrong. It usually come back on me like that. But after a while, we was together 8 years. Towards the end, I wouldn't say I was scared to be vulnerable, but I tried to avoid having to be honest. Like having to tell the whole truth about shit. Like if it was just like some shit I could just keep to myself and suppress and kind of put to the back burner, then I could kind of deal with it like that. Then that kind of worked for a little while, but eventually other things went left. So.
Have you ever fallen in love?
Oh yeah. That was my last relationship was my fiance, so I was,
So the moment like when you realize I'm actually falling, like I'm falling, like when you begin to realize that this extra layer of something was there, like did you welcome that, or were you afraid to feel that way about someone, or like how did you go into those very like powerful feelings around love and wanting to be with somebody and realizing how happy somebody makes you and just letting your guard down to accept something that feels that good? Like what was your process when you realized that you were falling for the woman you were with at the time?
I was all for it. I've always kind of been all for it though. Like I'm a hopeless romantic, so I'm in. I don't run from these. Yeah, for real. If I'm ready and shorty ready, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't never. I don't know. I've never really avoided that. I think some men do struggle with that feeling. But when I'm falling in love with you, I'm head over heels for you. It's over with. You gonna know. You ain't gonna have no question about that shit. Like, okay, okay, all right, you love me. Okay. All right, but baby, look, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Like I hate that I understand the concept of love bombing, but if you would look at it like that, yeah, it would be that level. Like, okay, like I know you love me. Cool. All right, just making sure.
And one more question. So what was it like demonstrated to you as a man about empathy and vulnerability? Like what did you indirectly or directly learn from other men in your life, like maybe like your father, your uncle, your brothers, if you have them? Like what was demonstrated to you about empathy and or vulnerability as a man?
Nothing really. I had to kind of learn all that on my own. So
and that's the problem.
Yeah. Big facts. Yeah. And I 100% agree on that. It was like the way I kind of figured it out was just do the opposite of what I wasn't getting from the guys around me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, yo, like I see some of y'all breaking yourselves down trying to be this example of the man that you should be, and I get it, but you know what I'm saying? We can sound cool and talk about men need to be logical, and then you lack the empathy and nuance to make like sound decisions for other people. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it. Like we gotta have balance. Like logic with emotion works better than just full on logic and full on emotion. Like you know what I'm saying? That's where the nuance becomes. That's where the nuance comes in, and that's where you kind of be a better leader. That's where you kind of be a better man. Like some of these dudes think being a man and being a leader is like dictator level, and I'm like, I don't. First of all, I ain't got the damn patience. I don't have the patience to be the level of stoic ass man that these dudes be trying to get to. Like I ain't got it for real. I'm not trying to save the world. I'm trying to clean up my front yard first. You know what I'm saying? Y'all trying to lead the world. I'm trying to find somebody to lead in this house. So you know what I'm saying? I ain't got it. And it should never be that way. And I think that's kind of a bad thing on them too, because it's undue pressure on them. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to have that pressure. Like I watch a lot of my brothers, and my brother's friends. It's just me and my brother. That's it. Like I don't have no other siblings. It's just me and my brother. And he's 9 years older than me. So if I'm 35, he's 44. And I watch him and his brothers, and I get the hustle, right? So one thing about hustle, I understand you got to get your money, get your way to grind up. But I've watched these brothers work to like they just work sometimes, man. In recent years, they've slowed down, but they've had to. You can't keep going like that. You know what I'm saying? And we as black men, we had to do that for a long time, man. Them brothers in the 60s and 70s and shit, them dudes working at the stem, and them brothers work themselves to death.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't going. I'm not.
Yeah. Absolutely. Great response. Purple culture. Same question to you. Like, have you ever fallen in love? And then, like, what was your experience of that feeling? Not their relationship per se, but just that like feeling of that level of emotional presence, that level of vulnerability that makes you be like, whoa, like there's a part of me that's really fucking open and made itself available. Like, were you scared of that? Like, did you struggle with those type of feelings as a man? Or like Yellow Pill, hopeless romantic and was here for all of the feels.
Yeah, timing is everything, man. Especially like coming out of relationship, right? You want to learn from what did not work for you in the previous relationship. All right. So when you do enter in a new relationship, and sooner or later you will be vulnerable, you make sure, okay, I didn't ask this, I didn't set the table with my previous relationship properly. So now let me do it properly this time. You know, and going through the talks, it's like, okay, once you have made it through the stages, you know my standard, you know my expectations. We will gradually, you know, see how this works out. And like right now, I think it's wonderful where I'm at.
Are you in a relationship?
Yeah, I am in a relationship.
Okay, you are in a relationship.
I'm sorry?
No, I was listening.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so we talked. I didn't do it.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
And you're in love?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Right. You have to if you are in love, you are vulnerable. That means you have to let the guard down.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. Go ahead.
So tell me about that feeling then. I'm sneezing like a motherfucker. But like when you started to realize you were falling in love, like was that scary for you? Did you try to resist those feelings initially? Because I know like a lot of men, like, you know, like they do the whole cold feet thing, like when it comes to weddings, like fear of commitment. Like I know some men who would literally, like, once they start to feel that feeling, they'll all out like cut their relationship off, like just to not feel that, you know, like because they don't feel safe.
Exactly.
You know, in vulnerability. And nobody really does. Yeah, I mean, like obviously, like that's why we call it vulnerability because it's
right. You're vulnerable. Right.
Yeah.
Right. It is a risk. Yes. So that's why, like I said, I call it like setting the table. You know, so once you set the table and set the standards, it's like, look, I'm about this. This is what I do good. This is what I don't do good. You know me. I know you. Let's take it step by step. You know, and then what if you see something? And I'm speaking from my experience. It's like when you see something that's out of place, it's like, oh, wait a minute. See, now there I go. I tried to open the door for you, and now I have to look at you side eye. But part of setting the table is, and we all know this in a relationship, communication is everything. All right. So you don't want to assume that, you know, that person did something out of pocket. You might want to talk to them first and then, you know, verify. And then you 9 times out of 10, it wasn't what you thought it was. And that's how most people argue about little stuff, because they don't know what they're talking about, because they don't have that conversation. They just assume and run with it. So the feeling for me now is like I've never felt more free in a relationship, because the standard is to be free, to be open, to be honest, and just agree to disagree from the beginning. You didn't have an argument yet, but you just set the standard of, look, don't let your relationship get to the point where y'all have to be yelling at each other and all of that, because there's really nothing in this world, you know, above our relationship. We should be able to handle ourselves. So, but
Understood. Is your girl in love with you?
yes.
Would you have a problem if she wasn't, but she wanted to still be in a relationship to you?
Would I have a problem if she was not in love with me?
Yeah.
But still wanted to be in a relationship with me? Yeah, I would have a problem with it, because it should be a 100% on both sides. So yeah.
Because I asked that question because I know, like, back in the day, probably like our fathers, a generation, definitely our grandparents, where like the standard wasn't like you gotta like me as much as I like you. Like, people literally
Right.
kind of went after people based upon their level of interest in a person, and even if they were in love and very smitten with the person, and the person wasn't necessarily in love, that wasn't necessarily a deal breaker for a lot of people. Like, there used to be like a generation of people who, like, they were with you because of how happy it makes them to be with you, even if you only like love them back but wasn't in love. Do you think that there's anything wrong like with those type of dynamics where like one person is in love and the other person loves the person back, and they have a great relationship, but one person just isn't in love, the other person is? Like, does that have to be a deal breaker?
Hindsight 2020, I would have to say yes, because I know where I'm at now, where both parties actually are in love with each other, and therefore they can trust each other 100%. Once you know that you can trust someone 100%, then you know you got that one. Now, and this is the problem, well, part of the problem, there's not just one problem, but what the whole divorces and just relationships anyway. Some people like the idea of being with someone and not be in love, which is what you explain. While one party is like they're looking for love, another person is just looking to fulfill their happiness, exactly like you said. Those are two different things. So that means one is willing to go the extra mile while one is not, which is they're being more selfish. And there will become a time where whatever bridge that is, that person that's not actually in love, they'll be like, oh, wait a minute, I'm not about that. And then the person in love will say, wait a minute, I'll do anything for you, but the other person can't say the same thing. I have a problem with that. You have to be ride or die on both sides. So yeah, don't settle. Just now if you're that person, if you are equally yoked, so that means if you just like to fulfill your need and you got a partner that just wants to fulfill their needs, but not actually looking for love and just looking for pleasure, then so be it. That is you have a balanced relationship. That is your balance.
But what about those people who like they just want partnership? Like, if love comes, if falling in love comes with that, then they're not opposed to that, but they just want like to share their life with somebody. They want somebody that they can have a family with, someone that they can build something with, that they can have as a companion, someone to just live, to just be with in their life. And like, because I know that there's like, we live in this world where there's like all type of different relationship styles, and
Correct. Mhm.
there are people who've been like in very long-term serious relationships with people, and maybe the man loves the woman a little more than she loves him, or maybe it's the other way around, but ultimately like they have something that's functional, something that, and they have kids, like have a home, have careers. Like, do you think that it always takes love to make a romantic relationship work? Like, is it not enough that a person just loves you and they see value in you and you compliment their life and and they compliment yours, and they still make the necessary sacrifices and the compromises in order for you both to be happy, like everything is reciprocal, but they're just not necessarily in love, but they love you and they have a great
Mhm.
deal of appreciation for the
Mhm.
partnership that you guys have together, and that still means something to them? Or do you think, we have to require a person to be in love? Like, you got to, I need all the emotionality that you can
Yeah,
muster, which is in loveness. So, like, I need that full, even if everything else can exist without
I got you.
that. Hmm.
All right. It all boils down to this. Both parties must agree. Okay. You say this is what I'm looking for in a person, and the other person says this is what I'm looking for in a person, and if both of you match up equally, then you got it. You're good. Now, what works for me may not work for you. So if that's the kind of dynamic that works for you, just make sure that what you're asking for is what your partner is asking for. And that way you're gonna have a happy life. But yeah, you have to have that agreement. Both parties have to agree on the terms. Otherwise, you're in for a treat.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay, hold that thought, pop culture. Mr. Oz, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Your feelings as a man when it came to vulnerability, like the moment that you fell in love with Mrs. Oz, did do those feelings did that feeling scare you initially? Do you still, and if it did, do you still struggle with um that level of vulnerability that comes from being in love with somebody? Like, just what was your experience as a man?
I was all for it. I was out of a devilish marriage and I was done so wrong. This woman took care of me. I mean, literally, she took care of me. And it's been that way for 27 years. I am a pampered, spoiled young man. I mean, I don't want for anything. So when it came down to knowing what real love was, she taught me that. And we're 5 years difference from each other.
Mm,
So I thought I knew it all. I thought I was the man. I thought my conversation got me what I wanted. It was nothing like that. I had to learn a lot by being with this woman that I have here. And it's made me a better man. And I wasn't nothing before I met her. If I did a trust fall right now, I know 100% she gonna catch me every time. Even if she's pissed off at me, she will yet catch me. And it's I thank God for this woman here because she's put up with 27 years of me being me. And that's not always been the right way to be. So I'm not up here saying I got the best. My wife is 100. I know that for a fact. My wife is 100. I haven't always been 100 with her. So I'm learning by listening to her, by watching her. And that is the good thing about it. She took a beat up, worthless me and turn me into something, and that you can't buy in the store.
Amen. That is splendidful. Miss Ayoli, I know that you've been listening here. What do you think about some of the things that you've heard from the men around emotions and vulnerability and being in love? I know you also put something in the back chat about being raised that way as a woman. Do you want to elaborate?
Yeah. Excuse me. Um, One, I like that everybody is actually in tune with themselves if they know it or not. Two, yeah, I was with being the only girl, I was kind of raised up as a boy.
Mm,
So when I intertwined with other females as time went on, they couldn't understand why I wasn't so much like them, and I didn't force the situation. I knew I was different, as you call it, weird. I love being weird. I loved that I didn't fit in, and I didn't really want to fit in
mm,
because I seen how their reactions to what, please, no offense to none of the men on or off the panel, how if a male will say you need to wear more makeup or you need to dress like this, you need to dress like that, they will really break their necks to become that person that they wanted them to be. When
mm,
at the moment I'm like, I just need to be who I am. I need to figure out me. I can't be what you want me to be. I can only be who I am. So
mm,
that's why I say, yeah, I understood very well when he said dealing with his yellow pill, when he said dealing with his brother, he felt like sometimes he had to fit in,
mm,
but he chose the opposite direction. I felt that too. And then it trickled from like my father. My father is 21 kids. I'm the baby.
oh wow.
He has sets of twins. He was,
Mm,
and he thought I would be a boy. So it kind of came from that. And with the boys, hearing him say all the time, why couldn't you be a boy? At one point, I tried to,
mm,
look like a boy, but I knew it didn't fit who I was. I'm just a female who, just like with Mr. Oz, I'm like his wife. I love to work on cars. I love to fix tires. I love to do, I guess, the
mm,
fancy things. My husband does the opposite. And a lot of people want to voice their opinion on our marriage, but
mm,
like I told them, no one can break us up except for us.
yes.
You love me for who I am. This is who I always been.
Mm,
I can only grow and be a better version of myself as I get older because I'm only 44 going on 45.
amen.
I think when I was younger, it bothered me a little, but not for me to change and
Mm,
be something someone else wanted me to be.
yes.
So
I
to
can relate to that.
hear a panel of men going through what I saw my brothers going through and finding their way
Yes.
is actually, especially a panel of black men.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing for me to hear and see because
Mm,
that's what I always wanted to see. I always, for me being a woman, I always wanted to see if a man, if he's going to be vulnerable, let him be vulnerable.
mm,
Don't throw it up in his face. And as women, we do it. I might have, I don't recall, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, like, I never threw something in a male's face. It's possible.
mm,
But since it's been so long since I probably did it, I can't remember. But I'm not denying that I haven't done it.
right.
And as women or black women, sometimes we want this picture perfect black man. And we need to recognize that there is no picture perfect anyone, no matter what color or race they are. I have dated every race, pretty much. Yeah, almost, yeah.
Mm,
And it's like, I don't see a difference. I see some similarities and sometimes I see black men do try a little bit too harder to hold on to a persona that does not belong to them.
mm,
And it's like, when is black man gonna see that? When are they gonna acknowledge you are who you are. You cannot be your father. You cannot be your brother. You can only be who you are. And it is a woman out there that will love and respect you and treat you as a man, no matter if you know your feminine side or you don't. We're out here, and sometimes we're hard to see through the shadows. So, to me, like, we need more black men to acknowledge that. More black men to know yourself. Don't worry about what your brothers or your homeboys think. Like Mr. Oz said, and every man on this panel I done heard say, they're knuckleheads. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to be sensitive and vulnerable, do that. That makes you a man. It really does make you a man or make you a woman or it makes you human to be able to express yourself even if it's in front of somebody. Because I remember a time my kids couldn't, to about up to a little bit after I got married, my kids couldn't even tell you they ever saw me cry. I tell people at my wedding, do not cry. I don't like crying. I don't want to see you cry. And then I noticed that was kind of toxic because I'm trying to tell someone not to feel what they feel. And that's wrong. As a person, as a human being, you are allowed to feel what you feel. If you're happy and you want to cry, throw them happy tears out there.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So to me, yeah, like it's weird, but it's not, I guess. My life is actually sitting around a bunch of men, straight or gay. I've been hearing it for years. My cousin, he was gay. I don't even understand how the family didn't even know he was gay. I knew when I was 12 years old and told him about the time I was 15 when he tried to tell me his secret. And I was like, I already know your secret. And it shocked him because he thought I would disown him or not love him. But he didn't know the whole time I loved him for who he was, not who you sleep with. And that's what people have to learn. Stop trying to not love people for who they are or what they think they want them to be. As long as we learn to love each other for how we act and what we bring and the love that we bring is basically what I'm saying. It to me it doesn't matter if you have a finger in the butt and you love it, hey, so be it. If you don't like it, so be
it. Yes, free. Be free and to align yourself with other people who are free and complete within themselves. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what it's about.
Stop letting the dark shadows burn out your light, basically. Stop letting dark shadows burn out your life, you being who you are. We only get one life. You might as well enjoy it the best way. Respect.
Yeah.
All right. CTV. I gotta bounce.
Yeah.
Conscious. I'm gonna get up out of
Thank you
here.
so much for being here. Yellow Pill. Great points you made tonight. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me up, inviting me on the platform. Everybody enjoy your night, and y'all be safe, man.
And you too.
Okay.
I'm also about to wrap the show up, you guys. I'm exhausted, so I want to thank you guys for coming up here. This was brilliant and dope and awesome and fantabulous. And I need to take my pretty ass to bed because I had a full day. But I love you all, and we will, as always, continue on in this discussion. I might be back tonight, actually, depending on if I don't sleep myself into a damn coma. So y'all might be seeing me tonight. If not, y'all will definitely be catching me before the weekend is out. But anybody got any parting words before I let you guys go?
I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be on your platform.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here.
And please keep up the great job that you're doing by allowing everybody to voice their opinion and be free.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for your love and your support. I miss your love. Yoli, I appreciate you.
Just hey, YOLO, Yoli, whatever you
Hey, Yoli.
yo, like
Yo yo. I like Yo Yo, Miss Yo Yo. Yeah, that's gonna be my name for you, Miss Yo Yo. I like
you'll
Miss
see me
Yo
in
Yo.
the chats. I might jump in now and then. You know, sometimes I just pop in because I
All
love
right.
you, especially when I throw you on my big screen.
Yes. I love you too, boo. And you have a great night.
You too. And enjoy your night, gentlemen on the panel.
Yes. These gentlemen
Thank you
might
very
be
much.
damn sleep. Any last remaining words from Pop Culture Oz for you guys to drop off?
I just
Yeah.
I,
Thank you for having me on
Yes, thank you.
once again. And can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Oh
you.
yeah. Thank you once again for having me on and
Thank you.
bringing up these good topics. A good speaker is a better listener. A lot of people can learn from that, and we'll go far when we listen to each other. Everyone have a good night.
Thank you for that. And you have a good night as well. Mr. Oz, parting words.
I am so glad I joined this live. It was beautiful. I
I might
like I
have to
say, my
interview
wife.
Oz.
Yes, please. Yes, so we can really get down to the minutia of things, and my partner really has a lot to say, and but we really enjoyed this, and everyone spoke so elegantly, and everyone spoke one at a time. So
Yeah,
tonight was a great live,
absolutely. It was.
and we
Well,
love you. You know we love you,
and I
and
love y'all.
we'll do anything for you, and we thank God. We really do.
I thank God as well. As soon as Mrs. Oz is off that fast, uh, we can plan a show and then get into the thick of it. Cause
Oh, we have a lot to say.
I've been waiting to have y'all go into y'all stuff because it's so unique. Like it's so unique. It definitely deserves its own whole moment in and of itself. So we'll definitely plan that out and talk about it. I love you. A kiss, Mrs. Oz, for me.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna take my ass to bed, and I will see y'all. See y'all if not tonight, Saturday or Sunday, one of them. One
We
of them.
love you, brother.
Love y'all too. Bye bye. And shout out to Storm Monroe for the invite. To it was a interesting experience regarding this subject. Um, yeah, no, it's just always going to be interesting when the whole sexuality and gender thing comes up, especially for our community as Black folks. So it's always going to be interesting. Okay, but I love you guys. I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys for being here today, and for those of you who cash app, thank you so much. I will definitely shout you guys out tomorrow. I appreciate y'all, and y'all stay safe. Peace.